Hello there, so in this video I'm going to show the books that I got in my recent trip to Mexico City. I went to Harry Styles concert, but I mainly want to talk about the books. So as you might probably notice, I'm in the post-trip blues. You get high, you get low, but yeah, these are the books that I got. And now I'm going to show the actual spines. These are the books because why do you show this? This is not interesting. This just looks like a pile of white stuff. This is more interesting, and this is more like, oh, I recognize that spine. Like, why do you show this? I know I get the mystery. Oh, which books are those? But this looks much better. Like, anyways, yeah. So in total, it's 6 books, and I was really excited. It was like my actual first time stepping into a library while being a reader, or at a bookstore. Yeah, so I went to one that was like in the touristic part of it was like the same chain, let's say like a Barnes and Noble. So I went to two Barnes and Noble. Well, it is in Barnes and Noble, but just so it's a little more understandable. So I went to one that was like in the touristic side of the city, and then I went to another one on the airport because I was like, I don't have any libraries, like actual bookstore like this in my town and my city. I might as well just get some books, and those are the books that I'm going to be reading for a while, right? I'm not going to get more physical books for a while, so I might as well just get them now. I'm like usually a very like thoughtful person about my expenses, and I wouldn't usually buy this many books in like a whim. I don't know if that's the correct like use of the word, but just like, oh yes, they get this many books. Like I thought, okay, I don't have any bookstores in my city. I think I would rather to get books from an actual local or national whatever bookstore than from Amazon, right? Even maybe some of the books can be a little more expensive in the bookstore, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it slide, and I'm just going to get them. So I got them, and I was really excited. Like specifically, yeah, the first time that I stepped in the first bookstore, I would see so many books that I recognized, and I was happy that I found books in English as well. I thought that I would be only able to see English, Spanish books, but that was not the case, and you might be able to see some already, recognizable names and whatnot. I have Anna Karenina, Stephen King, but yes, I'm going to start with the whole. Oh, what happened? Yes, I'm actually starting to. I already filled up those 2 spaces, but because I have these books here, they don't look full right now. But once I put them back on, they look a little more full. So I'm excited about that. But I don't want to fill myself with books that I'm not going to read or that I don't feel interested in. So I don't want to just get books that I'm going to take too long to read, or that I don't see myself reading. So yeah, anyway, so I stepped into this library and I was really excited, and I was like, oh my god, I want to get so many books. But I only got books that, like, I saw a lot of books that I would recognize, but I didn't get them if I wasn't totally convinced that it was like a book that I would be interested in reading. And I actually, the first one, well, it's not the first one, but on the pile, the first one that I got, it's a book that I've been wanting to read for a while actually, but I was like hunting for the correct cover online, and I wasn't able to get the actual cover that I wanted. But I was like, I'm already here, like I would rather just get it. So I asked if they had it, and they had it in English, so that's good. And the book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Again, I didn't want the discover, I didn't want the movie cover, which I love the movie as well, but I read this book like 10 years ago when I was 17 or so, or 16, no, maybe like 17, yes. A classmate borrowed it, but then I had to give it back, obviously. But I just remember the feeling of reading this book, and also I watched the movie since, more times since I read the book. So I don't know, there's something about the book and the movie that I really like. So I didn't remember exactly the book, but I just remember that I really enjoyed it and I wanted to reread it. So I got it, and yeah, this was the cover that they had. But I don't care. I started reading it in the airport actually, and I'm almost halfway, and almost on the plane, because I'm a little scared of the plane while taking off and landing. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first one that I got. It's a little smaller. It's not like a big edition. I think this is like the pocket edition. I'm not sure, but yeah. I'm enjoying it. I read just a little bit yesterday, but I read quite a bit on the airport. The second one that I got, this is the very first one that I got on my hands actually, is Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector, and this one I got in Spanish because again, the original language is closer to Spanish than to English, so that's why I got it in Spanish. I think this is one of the most, if not the most popular creation of hers. And I already read another one from her, which was The Hour of the Star. I wasn't a fan of it, but I said why not give it a try to Agua Viva. It was pretty cheap, 130 pesos, Mexican pesos. Yeah, I'm gonna say the prices. Maybe someone from Latin America is watching, I don't know. Oh, I took out the little thing of the price, but this was like almost 300 pesos. Like, yeah, almost 300 pesos. This was 130. And the next one that I got, this was the one that I got on the airport bookstore. This is Meditations, a very, very classic, and I'm very excited that I finally have like the classic Penguin Classic edition. I do have Crime and Punishment, but it's like a special edition, so it's not this one. So I'm excited I got it. This was 180 pesos, Mexican pesos. And yeah, this was actually on all of these books that I got, by the way, they were on my TBR. This was on my soon to read, like the sooner TBR per se, the ones that I wanted to get into and read as soon as possible, and I was really excited to get it or to see it there. Yeah, I think it's a classic, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, the next one is Stephen King's Pet Sematary. This one is also another one that it was on my TBR that I wanted to get to it soon. This is going to be my first Stephen King book, and I'm excited. I might get to it in spooky season, or really doesn't really matter. We don't get the weather for spooky seasons here, so it just depends on my mood. If I'm feeling like reading something spooky, I'm going to start reading it. This was 270 pesos. Yeah, this is, I think, like the normal, the normal size edition. The next one is Just Kids by Patti Smith, which is very popular. I think most of these books are popular. Yeah, I wanted to, it's been on my TBR for a long time, since I started creating a TBR, since I started reading. So I was very happy to find this one as well. Yeah, Just Kids by Patti Smith. I'm excited to read it. And last but not least, this is Anna Karenina or Karenina. I say it Karenina because it sounds more like I would say it in Spanish, but Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is a chunky one. Just as a comparison, one sec. Yeah, so just as a comparison, this is A Little Life, which is a chunky, like a very well-known chunky book, and this is Anna Karenina. So can you see the difference? Let me actually. Anna Karenina, Little Life. They're chunky, and yeah, this is not the Penguin Classic Edition, but this is the one that I saw, and I was like, oh my god! And especially because I saw the price. Again, this was also on my TBR, so it wasn't like, oh well, let's see, let's get it, let's see. No, I was already interested in this book. It was 180. Like, can you know, I get some classics as are sometimes can be cheap, sometimes they can be expensive, but this one was very very cheap. 100 and like I couldn't just not get it, you know. It was on my TBR. I wanted to read it for a while, and it was a very good price. So yeah, I'm excited to get to it as well. I enjoy the times that I read long books like A Little Life or Intermezzo, which is back there, which at the time it was the longest book that I read, Intermezzo, by Sally Rooney. I love Sally Rooney. Yeah, but I'm kind of progressing into reading longer and longer books, like first Intermezzo, then A Little Life, which is what, like, oh my god, the longest book that I read, and now after that is going to be Anna Karenina. So I'm excited. Those were the books that I got, and I'm going to briefly talk about my trip. At first I wanted to do like a haul from things that I got from the concert and stuff, but I don't support overconsumption, and yeah, I want to show the books because I'm excited about the books. I don't see them right now as overconsumption because I'm planning on reading them, and I didn't got that much, but I don't think it's that important. But I think the most important thing about the concert experience is that I enjoyed it. Being totally honest, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the 21 Pilots concert that I went last year, which was my first concert. This one was my second concert ever in my life. So it was a lot of waiting, a lot of uncomfortableness, pain, pain in my feet and legs, right? We only had breakfast at like 8 a.m. So when the concert ended, it was like 12. So we were really hungry, like so hungry and thirsty, because I didn't want to pee or have to take a shit on those little bathrooms, like, you know, where, yeah. So I barely took very little sips of water, and I didn't eat much. So when the concert ended, my legs were killing me. I was so thirsty, I was so hungry, I was cranky, and I just wanted to go home and lay in bed. And then we couldn't find our back to our Airbnb, so it was kind of frustrating, but it was okay. It was all part of the experience, and I don't regret at all. It was enjoyable. Yeah, Harry is really he gives a lot from him, and he's very kind. Like, he had 6 concerts in Mexico City, and a lot of people saw him around and whatnot. The city just running or just chilling with her fiance. Yeah, with his fiance. But yes, as I said, it was a good experience. The Airbnb in the beginning was a little creepy, actually, because well, it's a long story, but it was a little creepy, and there was a dog, and the dog got into the Airbnb. Like, it was there with us. We didn't bother because it was, you know, we love dogs, and we have a dog that it was kind of similar to the dog in the Airbnb. But yes, the host didn't tell us until we were about to like get into the Airbnb when she provided like the code for the keys and whatnot. But yes, I'm excited about the books. I want to. Well, I'm in the middle of kind of 4 books right now. So I started reading when I finished The Wolf King. I started reading the second one, which is The Night Prince. I read a little bit on the concert or while waiting for the concert, just a little bit. But right now, the one that I'm currently reading, like the one that is at the top of my mind, is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And then I'm also reading the Metamorphosis. I don't know how you say it in English, but I think it's understandable in Spanish as well. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I don't have much left actually. Yeah, I'm almost done. It's a very short book, but I don't know. So I'm almost done with that one. I'm also reading Stolen Tones by Felix. I don't remember his last name, but it's Felix something. It was very good, but then I'm not a fan of reading on my phone in public because it just looks like I'm on my phone, and I don't know, sometimes you just get tired of holding the phone and seeing a screen. So first I just didn't want to read on my phone, so when I got a physical book I was excited because it just feels different. So yeah, anyways, that is it. Trying to get my spirits up from the trip. After the trip, there's also been some heavy earthquakes. There was like a heavy earthquake in Colombia, so you just feel, or at least me, I know I'm not the only one, but when something like that happens, it kind of makes you consider your life, because it makes you think like an earthquake could happen here and you could lose everything, you could lose your life. So what are you doing with your life? It makes you consider everything. We had some heavy earthquakes, not as heavy as the Colombia ones, but maybe like a month ago or so, and they just makes you think about life and what are you doing with your life, and just consider everything. So yeah, those were the books that I purchased. That is the most amount of books that I've gotten on like one day, obviously. And yeah, I was so excited, and I love books and I love reading them and seeing them, being surrounded by them. But as I said before, I don't want to just surround myself with books that I'm not interested in. So it's not like I'm going to fill up my shelves, my room with books just because of the sake of it. When I came back, I was actually so excited to have purchased books that I had this little urge to keep purchasing more, but I was like no, because I had to make a payment or something, and then I was left with less money than I thought I would have after the trip. So I was like, okay, right now is not the time to get so many books. So yes, now that it's almost the end of the video, I'm going to quickly take a thumbnail because I'm lazy and I don't want to take a separate picture and whatnot. I just finished work, by the way, and yeah, I had to I have to stay 30 minutes more after my shift, but it was okay because I slept for more than 30 minutes more than my lunch time. So this is the first time that this happens. I was just so tired and my head was hurting and I didn't hear my alarm. Again, this is the first time that this happens. But yeah, these are the books that I got. I think the Stephen King is the one that is more noticeable, but these are the books that I got. And oh my god, I was missing the biggest one. right? Yeah, those are the books. So if you watch this, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what are you reading, what are you excited to read, even if you're reading 5 books, 10 books, let me know. Yeah, I feel a little bit better than when I started recording this, so